everyone, this is Othmani Zoa from ManiFX.net. I'm extremely happy today to introduce to you my newest version of Geo Renko System version 3. In this version, I have added so many things and improved a lot of things in increasing the accuracy of the system, and also to get the perfect entry and the perfect exit of a position. More than that, I have tweaked the future line whereby it now gives you the extremely accurate future move of the market. More than that, I've changed the regression channel. As you can see right now, there are just thin lines here, and in fact it has come to a point whereby it really gives you the perfect trend of the market and how far it goes. As in most cases, what it does, it just captures from one point to the other, from one end to the other end of the regression channel. And if the market came from top, as you can see here, it means that it is going to touch the bottom of the regression channel, and then from that point it's going to go further to touch the topmost level of the regression channel. As you can see right now in GBP and ZD, and it is live right now, it has actually started, it is already started falling. And as you can see that our future line here, it actually goes to the middle line, and then from here there will be some retracement, and further down it will go to the lowest point of our regression channel. And the other thing is that I have added 2 more indicators, but at the end of the day the total number of indicators has decreased to 5. But what I have done is that I have added 2 indicators, which actually what they do, one measures the seller's power and the other one measures the buyer's power. Which means if as you can see that the blue bars means the bullish trend, and the pink bars means the bearish trend. So this is actually acts as a confirmation indicator or indicators. What happens is that if the pink wave is above the blue wave, it means that the sellers have more power over the buyers, so it means that we're going to go bearish. And if the blue line is on top of the pink line or waves, that means the buyers have more power over the sellers, which means it's a bullish trend. As simple as that. I'm going to explain further on each indicators and what they do. So before I waste more time, let me just go to the number of indicators that we have, and I'm going to go further to how the system works compared to the normal charts of MT4, because this one is my own charts of which is actually based on geometric Renko or shifted Renko. It is not the standard Renko that we have seen, so probably this is going to be your first time to see such Renko bars. So but in fact I've just made them thin. If you make them thick, they will look like this. So you just go over these charts, the type of charts that you want to see. So we have bar charts, we have candlesticks charts, we have line charts which act like this, which I don't like at all. And then if you want the bar chart, the bars are going to be thick like this, but I prefer to see the thin ones. So this is how it looks. So when you right click here, you're going to see the list of indicators. In fact, my system is composed of 5 indicators, and some of the indicators that I have removed, including the arrows, because at the end of the day I found them useless for 2 reasons. First of all, they repaint, and the second reason is that they give alerts, which at the end of the day they tend to make the system heavy. So right now, in fact, the system is extremely lighter, especially for those people who are using low configuration system, or the laptop or desktop which has which has low specifications for such things like 2 GB RAM or 4 GB RAM in terms of resources. So in fact this one is more sophisticated and lighter, which means it's not going to use much of your resources. So my system, in fact, before even coming to indicators, so when you download the zipped file from my website, you're going to get a folder just like this one. So it's going to be written Geo Renko System version 3.0, and inside this you're going to have the 3 folders, which includes the expert advisor, and inside the expert advisor you have the Renko builder expert, which actually this file is responsible to convert the normal files, the normal chart which comes with the MT4 into geometric Renko chart. And then you're going to, under the indicators folder, you're going to have 5 indicators inside. I have removed the arrows, as I explained before, the reasons why I removed the arrows. So you're going to have 5 indicators inside, which includes the bias power, the Fourier forecast indicator, and then we have regression channel, we have the seller's power, and support and resistance indicator. So inside here, another folder, we have the template. So this is the template which is written Geo Renko System version 3.tpl. TPL stands for template. And don't be shocked that this is 2020 and my system is 2019, because I started developing this version 3 from 2019, but the tutorials, in fact, I've released them in 2020 this January. So don't worry about that, but it's exactly the same system. And then you're going to have this MT4 path, which I'm going to explain in later tutorials why we have this. And in fact, this path is going to help you in case your system crashes, maybe due to very low resource in terms of RAM. So this is the remedy to take care of that. So, and then maybe it crashes for other reasons, maybe when you open too many charts. So we're going to have you're going to have 3 folders and 1 file. So there's expert advisors folder, and then you have indicators folder and the templates folder. So once you download this, I'm going to explain in the second tutorial on the process of installation, but in this tutorial I'm going to give you the full introduction on the version 3 of my Geo Renko system. So one more thing is that the term geo is the short form of geometric, because I've developed my system based on geometric mathematics. So do not confuse geo with other things that you may refer, but it's just a short term that I'm using for the term geometric. So in fact, if you are asking me why did I develop the system based on geometric mathematics, and why I'm not using the normal charts, the reason behind is that when I started trading, and I remember very well the date that I started trading, it was 26th of June 2015. I remember that very well because it was one of my good friends' birthday, and then I remember when she asked me, and that was the time when in fact I was saying goodbye to my job so that I'm going to learn Forex. I did not quit my job so that I'm going to trade. I quit my job so that I'm going to start learning about Forex, because I realized that I'm not going to have too much time on this in terms of studying. So she asked me that what are you planning to do, and I say that today is the day I'm starting my journey of becoming extremely successful or rich, in other words. So we celebrated our birthday, and I put my money in my account, and just like any other trader, when you start trading, you just you just put the buy and sell without even knowing what you're doing. But in the course of a year, I just said I need to stop this. But though I had a very good intention to learn about Forex, because at the end of the day, I always had this dream to make money online. And then when I came to find Forex, I said, this is it, I have to focus on this. And I was very keen on learning this, because at the end of the day, I remember the first week of my following up on YouTube, because I remember I started learning about Forex from YouTube. So the first week, throughout the week, I was just learning the life of Forex traders, and I said, this is the financial freedom that I'm looking for. And then the second week, I learned how many years does it take to become a professional Forex trader. And majority of people from the videos that I watched, they say that it takes 3 to 5 years. And I said that is the shortest period of time to learn this. So I just took time and I started learning about this, and I was extremely serious. And I remember for the first 3 or 4 months, I was taking 8 hours a day of studying, and then the other 3 months I remember I was taking 5 hours a day, and then the rest of the month in a year I was taking 3 hours a day studying, and I was extremely disciplined on that. And then the other thing is that why, coming to answer the question that why I jumped into Renko charts, is because I found so much confusion when it comes to trading with the normal charts. Because I can give you an example like this one. So this is the chart of USD JPY, and I'm a kind of a trader that I did not like doing my own technical analysis, just like any other trader who are doing technical analysis manually. So they'll be drawing things like this, and then a lot of confusing stuffs and all that, and then from there they will start finding a way that should I now buy, should I now sell, and things like that. But at the end of the day, because the very first thing is that I had no clue about Forex trading. I did not have a mentor, and no one should ever proclaim that he or she was my mentor or my coach or any sort of a person that taught me what is this, what is that, because at the end of the day, everything I found myself from the internet, from the books I read, from the video tutorials. Some of them I downloaded, and some of them I got from YouTube. But at the end of the day is that I wanted to study and I wanted to trade in a certain kind of way, which I could say that I wanted to define my own path. And because probably I could say, I don't know if it's a strength or it's a problem, but I have this thing that I want to learn something in a particular way that is simpler for me to understand. Because first of all, I wanted to focus on something that was particularly focusing on price. Why I was saying I needed to focus on price, because it was difficult for me to do the analysis, and for me, because I did not like focusing on trading, use the technical analysis, using my own technical analysis, I wanted to focus more using the indicators. So why I was very much confused using the normal indicators. So a very good example which I normally use with when I want to explain why I shifted from the normal charts to, I normally use a stochastic oscillator to explain my term. So it does not matter on the period that we have here and or the MA method. It's just to let you understand why I don't use these charts. So let me just zoom. So stochastic indicator, basically what it does, it tells you the oversold and overbought state. So from the oversold and overbought state, it is easy for you to capture when you should buy and when you should sell. So basically, if you have reached the overbought state, it means that the prices become so expensive that people have started selling the instrument. When I say the instrument, it means the pair or the commodity or the index that you are trading. So in terms of this example, the USD JPY is the instrument that we have on our chart here. So at the end of the day is that when it reaches at the bottom here, it means that it is called oversold state, so oversold zone. So when you are on oversold state, it means that the prices become so cheap that people are starting to buy. So it means that this is an opportunity for you to buy, and at this point is an opportunity to sell. So I could buy here, I could sell here, or I could sell here. Okay, so but the thing is that the other thing which you need to note is that there is a blue line and the dotted red line, which means that if the blue wave or line is on top of the red wave, it means that the buyers are stronger than the sellers. So it means that now this is your opportunity to buy. So at the end of the day is that at this point is that you can see the overlapping here or the intersection, which means the red dotted line is on top of the blue line. So it means the sellers are more powerful than the buyers. So in other words, this is the bearish trend. So in other words is that this is an opportunity for you to sell at this point. So it means you can continue to sell. But this is the 15 minutes chart. Now let me show you the confusion part. Okay, now let's go to M30 chart. So this is the 30 minutes chart. So at 30 minutes chart, again we have in fact we are just starting we're just starting the selling opportunity. So if I'm using the 30 minutes chart, it means that I have the selling opportunity. So I can place my sell position here, and then go to 1 hour chart. Now look at this. So when you go to 1 hour chart, in fact you can see that this was a buy position, or as I can say that this is the bullish trend. So it means that at this point you should continue buying, or it is going to a bullish trend. So as you can see that on 30 minutes chart that I showed you and 15 minutes chart, we had selling opportunity, but 1 hour chart is buying opportunity. Let's check on 4 hour chart. 4 hour chart, in fact we are the market here is consolidating, and then at the end of the day, in fact we are on oversold state. So at this point you cannot really say that you should buy. So when you go to day chart, in fact it is an opportunity to sell. So it's actually bearish trend. So when you just jump around these charts here, you come to realize that if you focus on time, you come to realize that it's a bit difficult to know which time is the best for you to trade. And the other thing is that I did not want to stay on the screen the whole day just to monitor whether I should buy or I should sell. So at the end of the day, this was a bit confusing to me. And then most of the time that I'm waking up, like today, I say, okay, today I'm going to focus on 4 hour chart. I find myself keep on having the losing trades day by day. If I just win, maybe sometimes I just win some few, but at the end of the day I keep on having the losing trades. So at the end of the day, I was looking for a way whereby I could focus only on price, and then I came to find a term called price action. So when you when you start using the price action strategies, you come to realize that the price action strategies, they tend to not to use the indicators. So I was more confused in finding a way that I only need to focus on price. At the end of the day, I was not good in making my own my own technical analysis. I studied a lot of books, I studied a lot of tutorials, and everybody has got his own strategy. So I sat down for some time, and then I came to find out about Renko. So when I came to find out about Renko, in fact it was not the Renko charts that you are seeing right now, because it took me like 2 years to came with this geometric Renko. But throughout I was using what is called the standard Renko, or the Renko chart, which is shifted at 100%, because the geometric Renko that I'm using is shifted at 12.5%. So when I was going through the standard Renko, of course I found some a bit of some drawbacks, in a way that, especially when there was a consolidation of the market, because when there was a consolidation of the market, it was a bit difficult for me to know that the next move is going to go up or is going to go down. And the other thing is that at that time, I remember I was using most of the indicators that I was using, they tend to be what you call repainting indicators. So those repainting indicators, they are a bit not good, in a way that they just give you the wrong signal sometimes, because you may think that this is the point where the market reverses, but at the end of the day the market does not reverse at that point, and you find that you keep on losing market. You keep on losing the trades. So that was a bit difficult for me. And I remember after 1 year of my study, I started, after getting a glimpse of Renko charts, I started developing my own system. So the fact that I was not focusing on time, because the normal charts are governed by 3 parameters, which include time. That's why you have M1 up to month 1 here. And then the second parameter, which defines the normal chart, the normal charts, is the price. As you can see that the price is written here. And then the third factor, which or the third parameter which governs the normal charts, is the volume. When you talk about the volume, it's the size of the candlestick. And then when it comes to Renko charts, it is only governed by price. It's not governed by volume, it's not governed by time. As you can see that the charts, the charts here are inactive. So M1 is inactive. All of these time frames are inactive, so it means that it's not governed by time. And the other thing is that it's not governed by, it is only governed by price, and it's not governed by volume. As you can see that all the bars are equal. And then when you say that all the bars are equal, it means that you have the mandate to define yourself that each bar should define how many pips. Where do we define the number of pips? We define the number of pips on M1, which I'm going to explain later. So on M1 chart, as you can see that every Renko box size is equivalent to 48 pips. So as here you can see that I have defined that every Renko box size equals to 48 pips. So I can define the way I want, and I'm going to recommend to you what Renko bar or the Renko box size that you should use. So that was my starting point of the winning journey. So when I was using the standard Renko, when I say the standard Renko, it would look exactly like this. Let me just come back here, and I think when you go to Renko charts, I think you can get the free Renko charts, which are the standard ones. I think mine you cannot. I'm not so sure if you can really get it unless another person has got this idea. But when you say the standard Renko chart, this is how it would look. GBP NZD. Wait a second, it's loading, and then let me just put back to the candlestick. So the standard Renko, in fact, it would look like exactly something like this. It means that each Renko box, it would look like this. And in fact, the term Renko comes from the Japanese term which was termed as Renga. Renga means block. So as you can see that with these standard Renko, a consolidation part like this one, is a bit tricky for you to know that where to buy or where to sell. Let me just reduce the Renko box size into, because 48 is a bit big, let me take it to 24 for it. So this is how it would look. It's a bit not looking good, and in terms of even getting the signals here, you can see that there's a bit of consolidation, so there's a bit of up and down. But once you use the geometric Renko, you can really tell at what point is actually turning. And then the other part is that when I'm using the geometric Renko at this point, in fact for me it would have been the selling point. So once you use the Geo Renko system, I mean the geometric Renko chart, you'll come to realize that you can generate several several positions or opportunities that you might get compared to when you are using the normal charts. So when you're using the standard Renko charts, so there are so many factors that you should use the geometric Renko compared to the normal Renko charts. So let me go back. So this is how it would look. So probably you have you have the standard Renko, and then you have something very similar to this one. But at the end of the day is that even the setup of my Renko chart is a bit different from the standard Renko chart. So let me just take it back to my geometric Renko. So this one is shifted at 12.5. There we go. You can see how clean this one is, and let me just shift it to the bar chart, like something like this. Okay. So coming back to explaining about my system, I said before it has an expert advisor which converts the normal charts into the geometric charts, and we have 5 indicators. We have the support and resistance, Fourier forecast, the regression channel, the seller's power, and the buyer's power. Okay, so let me explain each indicator. And then I'm going to explain to you about how the bars function, and you can easily know once you have your movement of the market, you can really know that at what point is going to be your turning point or the reversal point of the market. Okay, so starting with support and resistance, we have these lines. You can see there's a red line, there's a purple line here, there's a green line. So in fact, these are points where we call them the resistance and support. Okay, so we have 3 or 4 types of resistance and support. We have the verified resistance and support, we have proven resistance and support, and then we have the turn-out resistance and support, and then we have weak resistance and support. Okay, so in normal cases, when you speak about the weak resistance and support, in normal cases it's just touched once, and then we have the verified resistance and support, which means that it was being touched more than once. And then we have the proven one, which is the fact it has been touched more often, and in most cases that it becomes so difficult to break it to go to the opposite direction. Okay, so we have another one which is called a turn-out resistance or support. So when you speak of turn-out resistance, it means that it was a previous support which has been turned into a resistance. Similarly, when you talk about the turn-out support, it means that it was a previous resistance, it has now been turned into a support. So as simple as that. So these are just lines. In fact, they will change according to how many times the bars or the market touches at that particular zone. Okay. And then we have another indicator which is called regression channel. So regression channel, in fact, is this boundary. We have the top line here, we have the bottom line here, and then we have the middle line. In more cases, how the market moves. The market moves from the bottom of the regression channel to the top of the regression channel, and in most cases it tends to rest at the middle line, or what we call retracement, in other words. So once it retraces, in sometimes it may retrace, it goes back to the top line of the regression channel, and then it tends to come back, or in other words it will just retrace to some few bars on top or at the bottom, and then it moves to the opposite direction. For example, a good example here, so it came from bottom and then it came back, I mean it went to the middle line, and then it retraced a bit, and then it went to the top. So this is how the market normally moves. It will always move within this regression channel, and when the trend changes, the regression channel will automatically change. The good thing about my system is that everything is automatic. The trend, once the trend changes, the regression will automatically change. Once it touches a certain resistance or support, it will automatically inform you by putting a line and tell you that this is now the verified support, or it's verified resistance, or weak support or resistance, or turn-out resistance or support. So everything will be done for you. So for instance, when you say that we have the weak support or resistance, it means that it can easily be broken. As you can see here right now, it has already been broken. And then the other thing is that we have the future line. So everything in my system is automatic. The only thing which is manual is for you to place buy or sell, as simple as that. But the rest of other things are purely automatic. And then we have the future line here. So when we say the future line, is that this red line here, or the Fourier forecast. In fact, this one is the indicator which actually tells you the future move of the market. As you can see, that it tells us that the market will drop down here, and then it will start going up. In fact, it tells you 100 bars ahead of you how the market is going to be. So you can see how beautiful the system is. So you can easily know next 100 bars, and I think it's next 100 bars. Let me just confirm that. So future bars, 100 bars. Okay, So it tells you the next 100 bars where the market is going to go. So you can easily prepare yourself that, okay, now I'm going in the bullish trend, or I'm going to the bearish trend in the next 100 bars. And then the other thing is that you can easily place your take profit. For instance, that you put a position, then you go to sleep. So the good thing about my system is that you don't really need to worry about what is going to happen next, because the future line in fact helps you to know that at what point is going to be your stopping point or something like that. Okay, so the other indicators we have, the two indicators that we have here, the buyer's power and the seller's power. As I explained before, that in fact it's just my way of coloring my system, because I just needed to brand it in terms of cyan, blue, and pink. Some of the traders that they like to use green and blue, so it's not really a big problem. If you want other colors, you can just go to properties, and then you can change the colors here. So like bar up, you can change into the colors that you really want. So that's not a big problem, but this is how I like to see them. And then in fact at the bottom here is something that it took me, I can say, 4 years to make sure that I have something which is, I can say, 99.9% accurate in terms of giving the signals, because I did not want something to repaint, and then I wanted a confirmation of my signal that I should now go up or I should now go down. So at the point of intersection is the point whereby you decide to buy or you decide to sell. As simple as that. So when do we buy and when do we sell? In fact, as I just pointed out, that the blue lines means buy or bullish trend, and then the pink lines means a bearish trend. So once this is the confirmation window, which means that if the buyer's power, which is actually based on non-repainting solar window principle, and the other thing is that the pink line in fact is just technically based on stochastic principle. So at the end of the day is that once we have in fact the stochastic comes with MT4. So once you have the pink line above the blue line, or the waves, in other words you can call them, it means that the sellers have more power over the buyers. So the point of intersection, it means that you just need to sell, and then you need to put your position open until the intersection or the next intersection occurs. So in other words, that until the blue line becomes on top of the pink line, it means that we are going to go to buy or we're going to go bullish. As simple as that. You can see how my system is simple. So first of all, you're not going to wonder whether I'm going to buy or I'm going to sell. Why? Because you only buy once the blue line is on top of the pink line, and you're going to sell once the pink line is on top of the blue line. And in fact, the future line, which is this red line, it actually gives you a glimpse that where the market is going to go. So, and I think this is these are the key points that I have addressed on my system that a lot of traders are facing. Because first of all, the traders are facing among the problems that are facing. In fact, I think if I'm not mistaken, there are key factors that every trader is facing. The first one is that it is difficult for other systems to know the entry point. So what is going to be your entry point using my Geo Renko system is that the entry point is the intersection point. So once the intersection occurs, if the pink line is above the blue line, you sell. If the intersection point, the blue line is on top of the pink line, you're going to buy. As simple as that. So that is the entry. And when do you exit? You exit once you get to the opposite of the intersection point. Okay. point number 3, so we have I've addressed the entry point, the exit point, and the third factor that every trader wishes to know is the next move of the market. That's why I have put the future line here. So the future line can really tell, and you can see that the bars in fact keep on falling according to the future line. Okay, and then the fourth factor is the trend, because every trader wishes to know the trend of the market. Is it going to be bullish? Is it going to be bearish? Okay, so as you can see that the market is now bearish in terms of the future line, as well as the trend is going up in a way that when you collect the higher highs and the lower lows, you can see that it's going to tap here, and then the market is going to bounce off and go up again. As simple as that. Okay, so it means that my system has really simplified those 4 factors of getting the entry point, the exit point, the future move of the market, and the trend of the market using the regression channel. Okay, so these are the key factors that I have addressed on my system. And the other thing is that right now is purely non-repainting system, in a way that when I added the arrows somehow they are repainting. In the other factors that I have added in this version 3 is that no, apart from repainting issue, is the system has become much lighter, and then even the number of, I mean, the Renko box size that I'm suggesting is this. For those who have actually used my system before, I was using the first time I was using 24, and then I switched to 32, and then right now I'm using 48. And why I'm using 48? Because the thing is that you don't need to spend much time on the screen checking your trades, because at the end of the day, right now you can really know that where your TP is going to be, and I'm going to train you that how you can really determine your TP, because at the end of the day the future line will change according to the flow of the market, because there are some people the future line will change according to the flow of the market. There are some people that they tell you that you cannot control the market, but I can say my system does that. I'm proudly saying that, because at the end of the day is that, first of all, you don't need to worry about the news, because I learned that Forex is, I can say, even more than 90% about mathematics. So if you're good in mathematics in terms of Forex, it means that you can generate something extraordinary. That's why I used the geometric mathematics to develop my system, and it was a bit tedious because I remember even when I started developing my system with a standard Renko, just to get a prototype I developed 102 versions, and then afterwards I developed 48 versions to arrive to version 2. On top of that, within version 2 I had so many tweaks here and there and all that, and then finally I was so keen into coming up with a system which is super accurate, that does not repaint at all, and everything had to be super accurate in terms of the future line, in terms of the trend, in terms of giving the signals. That's why I arrived into version 3. And then why I'm saying that you can control the market with this one, because you know prior where the market is going to go. Despite there is news, despite there is no news, my system can really tell you where the market is going to go. Because I remember, if you ask me right now, when is the last time I checked the news from the different website, I don't even remember when. Because at the end of the day, I also focused more on the system that does not really need the trader to focus on the news, or to start trading on the news, or to check whether the news is going to go up, is going to go down, because at the end of the day I wanted news-proof system. So in other words, in my system you trade what you see. What do I mean when I say you trade what you see? It means that if the intersection happens, the pink line is on top of the blue line, it means I'm selling right away. So long as I see the intersection, I sell right away. Even if they're going to be a consolidation, they're going to be a bit of upward move, but at the end of the day, so long as the intersection happens, it means that the market is going to fall or rise right after the intersection. So that is my key point I wanted to address on this, and in my next tutorials I'm going to address so many other things, including installation, including what type of the Forex instruments that you should focus on trading, and so many other things that you're going to enjoy. So this is in fact tutorial number 1 for version 3, and subscribe to my channel, succeed today. And not only that, you're going to get trainings about Forex and all that, you're also going to get some motivational videos which are going to help you to tweak your mindset into positivity and stay on your lane of success. And the other thing is that you are going to learn so many other things, and after I finish all this training, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to be giving the signals on different instruments that I get. And you might wonder why I only focus on GBP pairs. As you can see, GBP Aussie, GBP NZD, and GBP JPY. This USD JPY I was just giving an example of, but I never really touch it. So in my next tutorials I'm going to explain further why you only need to focus on a certain type of instruments in terms of Forex, and so many other things that I'm going to explain. So for further details about other things, that you can just go to my website www.manifx.net, and you'll get so many other information apart from just my system. Thank you very much, and keep watching for the next tutorials.